Okay, here's a map that I need to show you too. This is called the Wildlands map. This is a map of the whole country. You find this all over the internet still. Dr. Michael Kaufman, who's a good friend of mine, I've known him since probably 93 or 94. He's going to be speaking for us up in Bangor later on in November. He's the one that was able to find this, and he and a few others stopped the biodiversity treaty. Right? Stopped it cold. It was going to go right through the Senate without any trouble. What you see here, when you see the red, these are strictly very reserved use, almost off limits to most humans, unless you're Al Gore, maybe. Okay. The yellow would be highly regulated buffer zones with some economic activity, but not a whole lot. And where you see little black dots, that's the densely populated communities with their light rails and their stackum and packum housing and their very strict rules and regulations and so forth. Electric cars everywhere, of course. And you know what? Electric cars may be a good innovative product. Who knows? But they're going to be forcing it and using federal and state money to have all these things. They're talking about putting these terminals where you can recharge your battery in little towns in Massachusetts where they don't even have any electric cars yet. You see, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And you know, when this first came out, people thought, "You guys must be nuts, crazy, right?" But this is happening. This is coming to a town near you. Now, I think I gave you enough information about it. I want to know some success stories and how to stop this. This is more important than you need to have a little working knowledge of the subject. What we need to do is we need to stop it. What can we do to kill this, to get rid of ICLEI? And let me just go to a slide here. Okay. Since the spring, actually since last fall, the ICLEI and Agenda 21 have been on the defensive. Back in October, up in central coastal Maine, they had something called Gateway 1. They had their meetings in these little towns, and they had facilitators, and they were trying to get people to buy into their visioning session, right? But we had our members who would know what this is about. We had other patriot groups, Campaign for Liberty, and other freedom groups, Patriots of Maine, Maine Constitutionalists. Boy, there's a lot of good people out there. It's wonderful. And they were able to completely disrupt these meetings. Then they went to the governor, Governor LePage. And they said, "Governor, this is not coming from the county. This is coming right from the UN." And they proved their case. The next day, LePage says, "No more money." He releases a news announcement. And he said, "No more money from the state going to support this Agenda 21 project in Maine." It didn't kill it. I mean, it didn't mean it's going to go away completely, but it was a big step. Earlier this spring, there was some county officials in, Maryland, I think it was Carroll County, I'm not certain. And then they swore, they have county elected officials, which you probably had here years ago. They were sworn in, and the first thing they did is they got rid of ICLEI. They kicked it right out. We just, sign a letter, we're out, you see. Because the towns, you have to pay dues every year to the ICLEI. Since then, I get reports almost every day of another town or another city or a county getting out of ICLEI. There was one in Arizona yesterday, the day before that, Washington State, Carver, Massachusetts. Let me tell you something about being an activist. Here's an article that some of you are going to get, you're going to read, and what are you going to do with this article is the key thing. Well, I've been an activist for a long time, and I said, okay, the technology's great. There's something called Facebook and Internet, and there's something called Scrib, SCRIBD.com. A place for it's like a YouTube for documents, right? So I had this in a PDF and put it up on my Scrib page. By doing that, I can then put a link to my Facebook page, right? If I just had a PDF on my computer, I couldn't do that. I have to, do it that way. And I said, okay, Massachusetts has 38 towns and cities that belong to ICLEI. But there's Facebook pages of probably all these towns. Every town has probably a newspaper, maybe a Tea Party group, maybe a Republican group, maybe something. So I chose Carver as my first one. So I'm sitting behind the computer. I put in Carver. I know they had a newspaper, so I put in Carver Reporter. I'll pop the newspaper. I clicked like on their Facebook page, and I posted this article. They wouldn't run my letter to the editor. I emailed the letter. They would, but they had no choice. This was on. This was the link. And then I said, okay, how about Carver Tea Party? No Carver Tea Party. How about Carver GOP? Click Carver Republican Party. Aha. 100 members or so. So I clicked like, I posted this, and I said, you folks should understand what this is about, and and I didn't say a whole lot. I want them to be curious. ICLEI is in your town; it needs to get out. Well, the lady that runs the party, the group, she read the article from my Scrib page. It's only 8 pages, and you can actually print it out from Scrib. And she got back to me on Facebook, and she says, "I've never heard of this before, but it explains everything. Thank you so much." So I contacted her, and I said, "Look, I'm an activist now." I said, "Can we have a presentation? Can you help us host a presentation in your town?" And she said, yeah. Well, what? So I said, "How about the library?" So we got the library early August of this year, hot day in August. Nobody comes out to meetings in August, right? We had almost 100 people. It was myself and another gentleman. We gave a presentation on the subject. Some of the bad guys were there, which means they're paying attention. The next day they had a meeting, a town meeting. And the lady, Lisa Martin, her name is, she said they had so much fun. The woman that's bringing all this in, she's in her chair. They're videotaping it, for the public access. You can see her like stoop down in the chair when she saw these people. Let's read this proposal that's 120 pages that wants to bring in solar panels and rezone everything, right? They killed a lot of these things, and ICLEI is out of Carver as we speak, right? So lots of good things are happening because people are becoming activists, okay? And so what can you do in your town or your state? First off, be informed, okay? If you're on Facebook, join Stop ICLEI, Stop Agenda 21, Stop ICLEI. It's a very active Facebook page. There's postings all the time. And by the way, Lisa, thanks to her influence, she's also the founder of the Plymouth County Tea Party. I've had about 8 speaking engagements just in Massachusetts, and I'm being asked all the time. And I get people in Virginia. "Hey, can you come down to Virginia?" I said, "Well, sure. I'll be happy to. You kidding? Especially it's a little bit milder there." Now, I'm of the opinion that the town halls and city halls don't just belong to the Agenda 21 people. They belong to us too, right? Why aren't we there with our material? Why don't we find our literature in their slots, right? Well, this was Wellesley. You see right here? That's a reprint. Yeah, see that? Agenda 21, right? Right? Even in screen, people think it belongs there, right? So these are the things we do. You have to have you have to have fun. As serious as this is, you have to have fun while you're doing it too. I do suggest, if you're not a member of the John Birch Society, that you should join. All of the groups that you're working with, continue to work with them. Do not detract anything with these groups. I'm not here to do that. I think there's room enough for you in our group. I think Kip will squeeze you in somehow. And this magazine is indispensable. This is a reprint from the New American. It's a monthly magazine. Bi-monthly. When you join, you get a subscription to the magazine. The information is indispensable. Not just on Agenda 21, but many other items, issues.